radiation safety review, VTNE, and final exam review for diagnostic imaging. When we are taking an x-ray, we want to, of course, be as safe as possible. So we have three main things that we have to consider here. We are going to increase our shielding. We're going to wear our personal protective equipment, and that is going to protect us against scatter radiation, not the primary beam. So we need to keep our hands, arms, head, body, everything out of that primary beam. Do not touch the light. We should be increasing distance, so leaning back, looking away from the image if we're able to figure out the timing of our patient, whether it is breathing or the positioning. We want to look away as we take the radiograph. And we want to increase that distance from the radiation source from the patient. We have the inverse square law, which means double the distance from the beam decreases the beam intensity by 1/4. Any little bit that we are able to back away or distance ourselves is a good thing. We may be able to anesthetize our patient. We need to make sure that they are safe on the table and that we have them positioned carefully so they're not going to fall off the table. This will allow us, if we are able to position them with sandbags or anesthetize them, this allows us to back up and increase our distance. We can also collimate and make sure that our proper restraint is done for our animals and that our body position is correct and that we are not in the light. We won't get exposed to the useful or primary beam. We also will need to decrease the time whenever possible. We want to get it right the first time, avoid retakes, and we, of course, if we're using film, want to use a high-speed film, a low MAS, and a low KVP, as low as reasonably achievable, so that we are not retaking x-rays, that we are keeping our dose as low as possible, which is best for us and best for our patient. Maximum permissible dose is going to be the units of measurement per month, quarter, or year, or lifetime based on your dosimetry reports. And many of the reports will take all of those into account, and you'll have a report on that. The formulas are going to be determined to how much is allowable. Maximum permissible dose is 5 rem per year. Now, the workplace principle that we always follow, and your best friend in diagnostic imaging, is ALARA, as low as reasonably achievable. Safety equipment, we want to make sure our safety equipment is in fact safe. We want to avoid blackening, which means that air is going through. So these gloves are crumbling, and not only are we getting exposure to radiation wearing these gloves, but we are also potentially getting exposure to lead crumbles as well. We don't want air in our personal protective equipment. It should all stay white to gray. So those gloves, not going to keep us safe. That dosimeter or the thyroid guard right there, notice that crack in around the neck strap of it. That will also not keep us safe. So we need to make sure that our safety equipment, our personal protective equipment, stays in good repair.